It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. Wednesday show, August 30th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com. However you are watching or listening to the Woodward Sports Network, we appreciate you. Braylon Edwards, we appreciate you. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
I appreciate being appreciated, man. I appreciate you as well. I appreciate Woodward Sports Network. Tom, JB, as well as Parker. I appreciate you all. Man, you know what? I had a great lunch with my mentor. Speaking of appreciation, I wanted to get a chance to see my mentor, Dan Russell, who's over there at Tryon Solutions, PEO company, largest one in the state of Michigan, largest one in the region. Went over there to have fun, and he invited me there, and Anthony Tomey was speaking. Anthony Tomey,
Born
AKA,
in Detroit.
Yes, and Jimmy Johns. I got a chance to listen to Anthony Tomey for a little while, Maz, as I bring Tom Mazaway in. Tom, how you doing over there?
I'm good, Bray. It's good to be back home in our studios and all together, and another Lions spectacular coming up.
Good to got a chance to see Anthony Tomey speaking. He had
He's a good man, Anthony.
Really great dude, 42 years old, man, a professional baseball player, took it in, started his own businesses, man, and doing his thing. But he just talked about being fearless and not being afraid to fail. It's a great message, and I bring that to Woodward Sports. We are not afraid to fail. My man.
And no, we're not. You know who else isn't afraid to fail, and that is
Dan Campbell.
Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell.
There we go.
I think that's a perfect segue. I'd like to say hello to JB and Parker as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much, Braylon. When you look at this 53-man roster that was put out yesterday, Braylon, with 2 running backs and 12 defensive linemen.
Three running backs.
Well, 3 running
Jason
backs.
Kabinda.
Yes,
There
I don't
you
want to
go.
forget
Fullback.
about Jason Kabinda, but my goodness, it looks like they took some chances. And again, just like the draft, when they're drafting Jahmyr Gibbs, when they're taking Jack Campbell, they don't care. They're going to do their homework. They're going to take the best players they possibly could take. And if the number 12 defensive lineman was better than the number 4 running back or the number 6 wide receiver, they were going to take the best possible talent that they could have. And that's what they did.
Before we get too deep into it, before we get way too deep into it, I just look at it like this. The first thing I think about is they keeping 12 linemen. One of the biggest things people talk about was their weakness was they didn't address defensive interior during the draft. They didn't address defensive interior so far during the offseason. Look at what we're talking about with the Kansas City Chiefs. We're talking about them going from being the Super Bowl winner last year, Super Bowl reigning MVP, no Chris Jones. All of a sudden, it's like it's open season on Kansas City. Detroit understands the value of having a very good defensive line in today's NFL.
Tom, what did you make of the 53, the initial 53 when you saw it?
I thought it was all right. There were a couple of guys on there that I was sorry to see go. One was Chase Lucas the other day. He's back on the practice squad. But Starling Thomas, the 5th, he was a guy that I thought really did well this preseason and this last training camp. And you know what? We all said it. You're going to lose some very good players or guys that you really fall for because this team is a lot better than in the past years. This ain't your father's Detroit Lions team. This ain't your grandfather's Detroit Lions team. This is a team that's here to play and to try to win in the next 5 years.
Remember when I held up the piece of paper with the depth chart and I said this is the best football team we have seen in a preseason.
You did say that.
In our lifetime, and whether you want to argue about 91 or 14 or whatever, it was more to give, whether that was a true statement or not, you get the idea.
We do.
That this was as deep a roster from 1 to 90 as we have seen in any particular training camp. We have said that there were going to be guys that were cut from this team that go on to be picked up by other teams, to play for other teams, and heaven forbid, start for other teams and have nice long careers. That is just where this football organization is at. And I think you got to feel good about that. The Lions did not want to get rid of Julian Okwara and felt like they can sneak a couple of guys back on the practice roster, and they were not able to for Chase Lucas. Chase Lucas, right, Maz, is gone.
Chase Lucas is back.
Oh, Chase Lucas is back.
Starling Thomas,
Starling
the fifth.
Thomas is gone.
He's in Arizona.
He's in Arizona. That's where we got to. So Starling Thomas gets picked up by Arizona. Chase Lucas does come back. We still don't know what is happening with Craig Reynolds, because I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Is Craig Reynolds, because I would not doubt Craig Reynolds gets to the practice squad if, again, we have not seen that.
We've only seen 3 things, and it's over. At noon it was over.
If you're watching live, which is 2:06 right now as we go live, these waivers were supposed to be in by noon. We have yet to see what the Lions were able to do or what other teams were able to do, because Craig Reynolds, as a third running back, you could put some guys like Julian Okwara or whoever, on the injury report, and you could activate a guy like Craig Reynolds, who you cut yesterday, but he could be up in Kansas City week 1.
Yeah, that's the thing about waiver wires, man. You hope that your player clears those waiver wires, because they definitely want to have Craig Reynolds back, but they had to send him out there. They had to see what could be. They had to keep some guys. That's the good thing about it, though, and you keep talking about it, is having the guys on this team that you're scared to cut, that you're nervous to cut, because guys can play well. When I look at the teams that I was on that won championships, or they made the championship games, or they dominated, Ryan and Maz, those teams, they had guys that you're like, man, you're cutting that guy, you're cutting this guy, whether it was Terrell Owens. I remember when T.O. got cut, and T.O. still was in tip-top shape. They cut T.O., Tavares King, Tavares Jackson. Tavares Jackson got cut the year that I was in with Seattle. Saying, you're going to cut Tavares Jackson, he's a great quarterback. When you're cutting guys like that, players like that, that means you trust yourself, and you're probably going to go long and far in the playoffs.
Hey, Bailey Zappi was let go yesterday by the Patriots, but since he is a younger player, he had to go through waivers. I don't think anyone picked him up. They only have one quarterback.
He's back with the Patriots.
He's back. So that gives them the backup quarterback, and they save a lot of money. They could pay him like $500,000 now to stay on the team. As far as Craig Reynolds goes, he was more of a vested veteran, so he's a free agent. If he hasn't signed with anyone, he comes back here to Detroit, where I think he really likes it.
Yeah, and I was going to say, the thing about Bill Belichick, the Patriots, making that move with Bailey Zappi. You probably were looking, as soon as you saw it, you was like, wait, what?
He beat the Lions last year.
They know what they know. These owners, these coaches, they know what they know. And because they know what they know, Ryan, guy like Bill Belichick can release Bailey Zappi and know that he's probably going to come back, which he did.
Remember last year, how pissed off, how upset Dan Campbell was that they thought they were going to bring David Blau back.
Yeah.
And he got plucked.
That's right. Guys, football season fast approaching. Make it a money-making season. Need a lock of the week, some best bets. How about a value play? Booner has you covered. Woodward bets weekends all season long. Start September 2nd. That's this Saturday at 11. Sundays at 11:30. Booner and Friends. Woodward bets on Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Real quick, you say Saturday. Saturday, we know the Michigan game starts this week. We know the season started last week. We know Michigan season starts this week. Ryan, we got to do something about noon starts, okay? Just like you hate the late start, no matter who it is for noon starts, I can't do noon.
Are you kidding me?
I can't do noon.
He's barely waking up by then.
I can't. Well, actually,
I'm
actually.
gosh,
Hold on.
No
I wake up.
Start time.
I wake up in the morning now. I am a morning riser. I'm up. I'm up in the mornings. I go swimming. I listen to my Myron Golden. I get up in the morning.
I was talking about me.
Oh, I was gonna say now get active is very noon games, Ryan.
I am shocked by that, Braylon Edwards. I am shocked by that.
Ryan, noon.
Yeah, there's no better time to kick off a game.
3:30.
3:30 is great. I like the
3:30.
3:30 is great, but the noon is. I mean, that's why Big Noon Kickoff is kind of taken over. ESPN game.
It's killing
day.
them.
It's killed game day.
Okay, can I at least get one?
The night
can
game.
I get one? I don't know why there's a big difference, or it seems there's a huge difference between noon and 1. I feel like noon is still like I'm behind the 8 ball. I feel like 1, all right, you make it happen.
Oh my gosh, we should explore that. We will talk about the number 1. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. I do want to get back to the Lions, though. One of the things we were talking about a lot yesterday, gentlemen, the kicker position. They have re-signed Michael Badgley. They've re-signed him to the practice squad.
God.
According to Dave Burkett, Badgley was 24 of 28 on field goals, 33 of 33 on extra points last season with the Lions. He joins Riley Patterson, who is currently on the active roster. And I'm telling you, if you give me the option between Badgley and Patterson, I'm going Badgley all day.
Really?
Yes.
Because if you look at Riley Patterson's stats from last year with Jacksonville, they were very good. Mm-hmm. They just don't. Neither one of them have the big leg. Mm-hmm. Neither one of them have the big leg, and they gave up a draft pick for Riley Patterson. Right? That to me, that gives him the edge to keep that gig. But the Money Badger, he was pretty good last year. Just can't reach it from 50 and above.
Yeah, the money backs can't reach from 50 above, and I think that's the big thing. You want to see the big leg, like Justin Tucker, Matt Prater. Those guys made the big leg very valuable and very fun to watch. Guys that can't kick the ball 50, right? There's no space for them. Like I remember back in college, like if a guy in college, guys on average were kicking probably 42 yarders, and then you guy kick 50 yarders. It's like, holy shit, you can kick 50.
Look at Moody.
Now the guys are kicking further and further. If you can't have a guy that can easily hit a 55-yarder, and I'm not saying he has to be consistent, but easily kick one, there's no room for him on your team, man, especially when you're in, once again I say it, a dome.
No doubt, and we'll find out what the Lions do. And again, as this news trickles out, we will certainly get that to you as quickly as we can. Dan Miller, voice of the Lions, Fox 2 sports director, is going to join us at the top of hour number 2. We'll get you all the latest news, his thoughts on the Lions. What are the biggest question marks as they head into the season? And, of course, see if there's any movement with this Lions roster as we get closer to game time. 8 days away. 1 week from tomorrow, guys.
How about it?
I mean, 1 week from tomorrow. Are you kidding me? My goodness. Cannot wait.
I still can't understand like how fast the season came out. I guess that's because we talk about all things Lion and NFL exclusively, it seems. But we were just talking about the Lions and how the season ended. We're talking about, wow, we got played by Seattle in the Rams game. And you see how great the Lions fought last game, how they entered Lambeau Field. They were able to make it happen. It almost seems like they were the ones that pushed Aaron Rodgers out the door. That seemed like so long ago. Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. Randall Cobb is going to retire. The Detroit Lions, we're ready for them. Well, guess what? 8 days from now, they'll get to do everything that we said we wanted to see about 6-7 months ago.
I'm watching Hard Knocks last night again, caught up with the Jets and Aaron Rodgers. Did you see him going after one of the Giant players? That,
who are you?
Yeah, who the hell are you? He's like, who the hell are you?
Right.
So it was kind of fun, man. But he looks like he is locked and loaded for this year, man. I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be a fun season.
It is going to be a fun NFL year. We will look at some of those Week 1 matchups. Also, when it comes to the Lions, we talk about that defensive line a lot. We talk about the linebackers. Well, coming up, we're going to show you a stat. I got the stats for you.
Exit velo.
That could determine whether or not the Lions are a playoff team or not. We'll have that for you coming up. But first, a message from Mark White.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like to buy? Have the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason without any penalty. That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Experience the true meaning of extreme cannabis. And guess what? This Friday, we'll be at Whitmore Lake, the new opening. I keep saying 12. Now it's unlucky number 13. Dispo, your local plug. 13 locations around the state. 21 and up, recreation only. But you come in here, they got the best brands, the best edibles, the best flowers. They got the best things. They got it going on Fridays. There's always a DJ. So you come there and check out a party. Check us out at Whitmore Lake this Friday. Dispo. We'll see you soon.
As the roster construction continues for the Detroit Lions, Tom Mazaway, you had something.
What do you mean I had something?
The
Lions have not. The Lions have
What do
not
you mean
picked,
I had something?
The Lions have not picked up anyone off of waivers. That is official. So anyone they sign are free agents right now, and only one picked off the waiver wire. We told you about it. Starling Thomas, the 5th. He's going to Arizona. How do you think he feels?
It's just that easy, Tom.
How do you think
Thanks for that.
That's okay, man. How do you think he feels?
Well, you're so distracted over there now.
Well, why would you go to me when I was just trying to get off my phone?
How do you?
Why would you go to me right off the hop? Was it just to stick it to me?
No, it was because, if truth be told, there's a camera right in front of me,
Right.
Yeah.
and I cannot see you, and you told me the breaking news, which
I did.
was,
This is true.
you seem to be the news guy of the.
I'm trying, man.
You're
I'm trying.
You're doing okay.
Out of 16 practice squads, there are only 3 filled so far. So I'm trying to get them.
Okay.
The chat seems to know more than all of us. So
Allegedly.
if you listen to the chat, the whole thing is
I
filled
don't listen
already.
to the chat today.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
The whole
I got
thing
too
is
much going on.
The whole thing is
Are
filled
you guys
already
good?
as far as the chat
Are
goes.
you guys okay?
Totally.
Are you,
I'm
are-
fine.
Are you guys good?
But today, for
Little-
sure, I can't see him because of this one
Okay,
camera.
we'll get you some-
Usually, I
we'll
can
get you
see
some
half of
bifocals.
We
him.
can usually read each other a little bit better, but
Right.
I cannot see
I
him
see.
through this camera.
I can feel the tension between you two, man.
There's no tension.
We'll get you some Red
There
Fox
is no tension.
bifocals.
No tension.
There is no tension.
All right, man. Just making sure.
I want to put up this stat. I think it's an interesting one because I think the Lions put a lot of resources towards.
Can man see it?
I think Maz will be able to see it because it'll be on the screen momentarily, and it is in regards to the most yards allowed and the least amount of yards. Look last year at the most rushing yards allowed last season. The worst 5 teams, the teams that allowed the most rushing yards last year,
Yes.
only one of those teams made the playoffs, and they snuck in the
Seattle.
Seattle Seahawks.
Chargers.
Chargers made as well.
Oh, the Chargers made it? Oh, yeah, that's right. They lost 28. No, they were up 28-0 or something like
Jacksonville.
that and blew it.
Yeah.
But if you look at the teams on the bottom, the fewest yards allowed, the Titans made it last year, didn't they? They did not. So 4 of the 5. No, the Ravens didn't make it either. Well, never.
Yeah, the Ravens made it.
Oh, yeah, they did.
They lost to the Bengals.
That's right. 4.
No, the Ravens lost to the Bengals to not go to the playoffs.
You sure?
Either way, the stat
The Ravens
is a
didn't go
dumb
to
stat.
playoffs
then.
last year. They
the
lost to
stat
the
is a
Bengals.
dumb stat. Screw the stat.
You don't remember the Sam
Okay.
the Sam
I remember
Hubbard?
Tyler Huntley was in it.
The Sam Hubbard, that was the last game of the season to go
You're
to
right.
the playoffs.
You're
Sam
absolutely
Hubbard.
right.
Yeah.
It was a Sunday night game.
It was.
All right,
It
that,
was.
that stat blew up my entire thing.
Right, it's still a good stat.
It's
a meaningless stat.
It's
It's a meaningless stat.
Yeah.
It proves that you can win any way, and that
Yeah.
it's not an indication of success.
That's true.
That stat is not an indication of success. If you're talking to me about 4 of 5 or 5 of 5,
Right.
then I'm in. If you're talking to me about 0 of 5, then I'm in. This stat is a meaningless stat.
My bad.
It makes no bearing on any sort of success.
Let's pretend we didn't put it up.
No, I see what Ryan's saying now. Basically, you're saying the way the Detroit Lions played in the run game last year had no bearing on with the playoffs or getting in and getting out.
Well, okay, now you're on to something.
Okay, I see what you're
Now
saying.
you're on to something.
I see what you're saying.
This has totally turned into an offensive league.
Right.
Okay, who can outscore the other team?
Yeah.
I think defense. Now, I don't think you can be the 29th worst defense
No.
in the league.
But I see what
But
you're, yeah.
I think if you're the 20th best, I think if there are only 12 teams worse than you, I think that's as long as you have a great offense, I think you're onto something. Good defense does not beat good offense anymore. It just doesn't. It's meaningless.
Yeah, and you know what, right?
I don't want to say it's meaningless.
No.
But you get the point.
It's not the same anymore.
No. Maz, exactly. It's not the same anymore. Ryan, you're on to something, and if you allow me, I can help you. Look what the Philadelphia Eagles did last year. Now, they played in the NFC that was open. It was wide open. The NFC is still open, and it is cap or no cap today. That'll be one of the cap and no caps. We'll talk about that. But I understand exactly what you're saying. You look at it from this value. You look at what the Eagles did, and they had all that, and they put all that on the defensive line. They had all the money spent on the left end, the right end, the left defensive tackle, the right defensive tackle. They did all that, and that defense didn't matter in the Super Bowl. It looks like, for the most part, Brad Holmes, to your point, being able to get there fast, being able to get to the NFC Championship, being able to give your team a chance to be in the Super Bowl this year, in year 3 of a regime, it seems like they're going after the positions and they're stacking up where they need to. They understand that offense is king. That's why they have the best offensive line, arguably, in the NFL. They understand that you still have to have a running game. That's why they draft Jahmyr Gibbs at 12. That's why they bring in David Montgomery, who's going to be a savant at the pass receiving as well as running the ball. You draft Jameson Williams, waiting to see what he's going to do. You're building up the offense with Sean Laporta. They're setting up that offense, and on defense, secondary, because all they do is pass now. So you go get C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you go get Cam Sutton, you go get Emmanuel Mosley. But because they pass a lot, you also got to have rush ends. That's why you draft Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall 2 years ago, to be that rush end. That's why you have so much invested, 12 players specifically as it relates to the defensive tackle and defensive end. So it seems like what you're saying is they're going after the right positions to be able to strike while the iron's hot.
4 of those 5 teams did make the playoffs. Ravens did get in. They lost to Cincinnati in the wild card round. 24-17.
Okay,
so that was the wild card round. So
there you go. I'm sorry, man.
It does feel like
sorry.
it does feel like that stat is a little more meaningless. But again, the days of good defense beating good offense, I think those days are over. Guys, let me tell you about this. Woodward Sports expanding its daily lineup beginning September 5th. Booner and Broder pair up for Woodward Nights from 8 to 10 p.m. 2 of Detroit's up-and-coming sports personalities for the hottest takes, the best entertainment. Join them Monday through Friday from 8 to 10. Booner and Broder, catch them on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. And if you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to over 100 likes by the end of this segment. Dan Miller coming up talking a little Detroit Lions with us at the top of hour number 2. When it does come to how the Lions are constructed right now, they clearly got better defensively. I think their offense got better as well with the tight end position and the running back position. And maybe even if you don't believe that the wide receiver position is better holistically, Amon-Ra St. Brown is probably better. However you feel about DJ Chark and Marvin Jones, where are you on those two, like 1-to-1?
I think DJ Chark is younger. I think he's more explosive. I think, if he had a chance to sit in there and be in there for 17 games, I think he'd be better. But the key word is if. He hasn't been in there for 17 games. He's been injured. Right now,
and actually got injured again. He's done.
And that's what I was going to say again. So I would stick with Marvin Jones Sr. because Marvin Jones, at least you know what you're going to get out of him. You're going to probably get somewhere between 880 catches. 880 catches my ass. Yeah, 880 yards. 880 yards. You have around 75 to 80 catches, and he'll have about 6 to 7 touchdowns. That's very, very serviceable. He's consistent. So I take Marvin Jones Sr.
No doubt. And that's really the only position change as far as the wide receivers go from a year ago. Josh Reynolds is back. Khalif Raymond is back.
This is true.
I mean,
got some young guys on that team as well.
The Lions basically were a top 5 offense last year, and they got better this year. So we do anticipate those numbers, at least, if not getting better, at least staying where they were. The only variable, I guess, you would talk about is turnovers.
Maz, I'm gonna throw this to you, and I think, and maybe I'm guilty of this too, Ryan. As it relates to looking at the offense for the Detroit Lions, when I'm looking at it. And yes, last year was success across the board, but I'm not remembering, and that's what I should. DJ Chark was hurt at one point. Amon-Ra St. Brown was hurt at one point. The receivers had to figure it out all year long. Jamison Williams never came around last year because of his injuries. And when he played, it was like a play here, play there,
Right.
the big touchdown, one call back. So they did all that last year. And then once again, there was no specific starting tight end after week 5 when DJ Hockenson parted ways and went to Minnesota. They did all that last year with a revolving door of wide receivers, a revolving door of tight ends. Is DeAndre Swift going to play this week?
Right.
Is he not? I know I got you going with that one. Is he not going to play this week? Is it Craig Reynolds backing up? Is it Josh Jackson? The fact that they had all that success last year and now they have a tight end that they drafted in the first round that they believe in, that they know is going to be their starting tight end. Now they have 2 running backs that you heard the one that's coming in from Chicago. Oh, I don't care where I'm at. I'm going to play. Whether they need me to get water, whether they need me to do whatever. And then you have Jahmyr Gibbs, who Barry Sanders has already personally stamped in the preseason. This looks like they can be more consistent this year, which means you know who, Jared Goff, can even have a better season. So I think last year we're not paying attention to how they had that success. We're forgetting about the injuries and the lack of receiver work, and one day he's in and one day he's out. I think they'll be more consistent. Ryan, I do agree with you. I have to start looking at it that way. I think the Lions will be a much more consistent, which means they'll be a better offense this year.
The offensive line is the key, right, guys? We all know that. It's the most expensive part of their team. It's the most expensive offensive line in the entire league. As long as they stay together and stay healthy, Jared Goff stays up. He doesn't fumble the ball, doesn't throw many interceptions. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery give you a thunder and lightning type of backfield. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be used a lot. Now, David Montgomery will probably be the bell cow like Jamal Williams was last year. He'll probably get the touchdowns, the dirty touchdowns, near inside the 5-yard line, inside the red zone. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs, without a doubt, second to Amon-Ra St. Brown as the most important guy on that offense. Jahmyr Gibbs, it's your show, man.
Time will tell. We'll see 8 days from tonight. Want to take a look at some of the big Week 1 matchups in the NFL. Plus, we'll talk some Michigan football. Dan Miller coming up top of the hour. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, because summertime is a great time to join Planet Fitness and beat low E. Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. No matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness nearby with more than 50 convenient locations in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness, or as always, check them out online at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Are you a diehard college football fan? Well, it's your lucky day. Join special WSN guests like Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, and more every Saturday. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Saturdays and tune in live from 8:30 to 10 a.m.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey, gang, who wants to play golf like a celebrity? I know you all do. If you love golf, that's what you want to do. You want to be like Braylon and D-Mac and Jim Harbaugh. And thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you're going to get the chance to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice and making sure you pay attention to us here at Woodward Sports for more of the details.
You know, every time you say Randy Wise, I gotta come in and talk about what Tim Stein did from a truck, man. Yo,
You
man,
look good in that truck. You got your confidence going.
I appreciate. You know
Yeah,
what?
you got your I think it's a truck.
I appreciate that.
I think it was the truck.
It's a big truck energy, as they say. Feeling good, but Tim Stein took care of me over there. Randy Wise, they'll take care of you. And also, that Randy Wise, those outings, D-Mac is lighting it up, man. I know I keep talking about him, but he's always doing something in one of those outings. I gotta get me a golf moment.
That's right.
Gotta give me a golf
You'll get
moment.
one, Bray. You
I
play
appreciate
enough
that,
of
man.
it. You'll get one.
All right.
No doubt. Do want to point out Gabrielle D. Phillips, our Woodward Sports beat reporter, put out a couple of minutes ago that Dylan Drummond is signing with the Lions practice squad. So
Good for
Dylan
him.
Drummond back. Absolutely. And look, Dan Campbell, he might have just been right.
Yeah.
When you say this is a 53-man roster, no, this is a 69-man roster, because these guys are going to be playing active at some point in the season. You are going to need a Craig Reynolds if they re-sign him. You are going to need a Dylan Drummond. Hell, you need a Chase Lucas. These guys that are playing on that practice squad, they have these players added for a reason, right? I mean, players go down. The 53 men that were announced yesterday on the practice squad, there isn't a team in the NFL that announced a 53-man roster yesterday that will end with that same 53-man roster at the end of the season.
Look, let me tell you like this. When I played in the NFL, you get the guys that come in that are on practice squad, the guys that kind of rotate through that practice squad door or free agency, undrafted free agent door. These guys can play ball. Like, these guys are football players. These guys were all conference somewhere, whether it was the Big 12, whether it was the MAC, whether it was the Pac-12. Guys can play football. Guys put in work. When those guys come in, they do the same amount of hours, if not more, that the starters do. They go see training. They watch film. They put in work. They get the starters ready to play. They know the offenses as well. So, if a guy goes down, no team is, like you said, Ryan, they're going to make it through a whole season with 53 guys. No team is going to do that. You're going to have guys come and go. And I believe these guys help, man. I'm telling you, these guys have a purpose on this team, and they have a purpose in this league. They help a lot.
Hey, offensive lineman Connor Galvin was one of the signings to the practice squad as well. Kareem Hunt is still out there. Tom Pelissero said he's had 4 offers so far, but he is still waiting for the right team to come calling. Brett Maher, who had the worst kicking day in the history of the NFL. You guys remember it last year?
Did he miss 4
Yes.
points in a row or something
Yep.
like that?
He couldn't do anything when the Buccaneers and the Cowboys played in that playoff game. He got picked up by the Rams today.
Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of bad kickers that are getting gigs right now. There's nothing out there, man. There's nothing out there. The Lions are going to probably have to stick with their 2 under 50 guys.
Well, like I said, I'll see where Badgley is at some point, because, again, if you could just make your extra points in this league, and he was 33 of 33 last year for the Lions, that's pretty darn good. Every point matters. I want to take a look at the Week 1 games. Again, Dan Miller going to join us top of the hour, 30 minutes from now. Take a look at the Week 1 matchups in the NFL. I cannot believe it's here. We will start doing our pick segment and having some fun with these matchups and storylines and all of that great stuff. But is there a matchup on this board, as you're seeing it right now, that kind of jumps out at you? This NFL is a script, right? And
it is.
We'll talk about that. It's kind of like a storybook. And obviously a lot of people will point to the Jets and the Bills. But
I got one.
Maybe other than that, is there one that you look at, Jets and Bills?
Yeah. I got one.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Jets and Bills, but the game that jumps out at me, man, everybody wants to see, who is this Miami Dolphins team? Who is this Miami Dolphins team? Tua Tagovailoa, is he healthy? You heard him back and forth with Ryan Clark. Is he the guy? Seems like his attitude changed. Seems like he's not accepting any disrespect about him or his Miami Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, Raheem Mostert, they keep adding players on that defense. Jalen Ramsey got injured, but they've added a lot of weapons on that defense. And on the other side, that boy Justin Herbert just got the bag. He just got paid. I'm interested to see Week 1, who are the Miami Dolphins and who is Kellen Moore with Justin Herbert. That's the matchup that I'm not going to, and it's not the Lions.
Hey, going right down the board there. I like the Bengals and the Browns because you got
That's
you
the
got,
one I was going to
You got
point
no
at,
Joe
right?
Burrow and you got Deshaun Watson.
That may
All
not.
right? So
Joe
we'll
might
see.
play.
Really?
Joe Burrow. Don't count Joe Burrow out.
Wow.
He's questionable right
All right.
now.
So,
So don't call Joe
If
B
you go down
out.
to the bottom of that team,
You'll still be right for picking that game.
the NFC East,
Yeah.
Giants and Cowboys. That's going to be a hell of a battle to see what the Giants have coming back, what the Cowboys have, and who knows what's in that thing. But to me, those are the two games that stick out the most that I'm interested in seeing.
There's almost, look, every NFL game has a different storyline that you want to see, but I could probably tell you more games that I guess I would say I'm not as interested in. There's a number, obviously Bengals and Browns, right? As you mentioned, Maz, regardless of whatever happens with Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson and the Browns, to me, are an X-factor team in the 2023 season. When he went down in 2019, he was a top 4 quarterback in this league. Has that time away from football, really just kind of, do you lose everything in that time? Are you able to get it back? That is an aspect of this.
Michael Vick did.
And and I'm glad you said that, Ryan. That was my question to you. This is a question about Deshaun Watson, Maz. This is for you as well. We always go quickly to the Michael Vick deal, right? We go to Michael Vick and say, Michael Vick, he served 2 years in jail. He came out, played with the Eagles, had a Pro Bowl year in 2010, got paid again. But Michael Vick went to jail. He served his time. His conscience was clear for crimes that, one, he wouldn't have landed you in jail back in that time. We know that. But he went to jail, served his time. He made peace through people that came to visit and talk. And once he got out, his mind was at least clear to go play football. Now then he can shake the cobwebs up. With Deshaun Jackson, what we don't talk about.
Deshaun Watson.
With Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Jackson was a damn fine wide receiver, by the way. He wore 1 too. What we don't talk about is his mind. His mental, as it relates to everything that he dealt with, not football, as it relates to what he dealt with, as it relates to the process. Is his mind healed? Does he feel like he's served his penance? Does he believe like he's good? Not to mention, now you got to add the football acumen to it as well. So that's one thing we never talk about with Deshaun Watson. He still could be thinking rather than not football. Go ahead.
Want the latest inside information on the Lions? The Lions Insiders have you covered with shows twice a week. Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and the legend Terry Foster bring you the latest news and breakdowns Tuesday mornings from 7 to 8, Sunday mornings from 8 to 9. Lions Insider Show, your first stop for game day. Check them out, Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, that Titans and Saints game is going to be something too, because Vegas got the Saints at 9.5. 9.5. If I told you the same as the Lions, you think the Saints and the Lions are like 1-2, with each other?
The more I see the New Orleans Saints, the more I think that is a team that needs to be reckoned with in the NFC. That team has a hungry quarterback who's a talented quarterback.
Who's pissed off?
Who is a pissed off
and has beefed up, by the way.
They have, Alvin Kamara, yes, is out for 3 games, but Michael Thomas is back, who... The word is that Michael Thomas looks good.
Chris Olave.
I mean, that offense.
Jamal Williams.
And don't underscore, if you want to push this aside, feel free. But I think you have essentially 2 head coaches on that team. When you have a head coach for the head coach, when John Gruden is helping, imagine if Dan Campbell had Bill Parcells as a contributor.
Oh, my.
You know what I mean?
This is real.
Like you can't underscore what that will do for a team when you just have an extra set of eyes who has been there and done that. And yes, coaches have their assistant coaches and stuff like that, but how many coaches in the NFL right now, and I guess I'd have to go back and look at this, but have a true long-time head coach behind them in their camp, not just a guy that's been there and got fired after 1 or 2 years.
Well, the Packers with Don Capers.
Right. I don't think you can underscore the importance of that.
I agree. And I can't give you a football example. I give you an NBA example. Why the hell do you think Eric Spoelstra is so good down there in Miami? It always feels good when you can go knock on Pat Riley's door.
Yep.
That was a winning time shout out for you, man. Ryan, I know you appreciate this. Isn't it funny that when you look at the right side, now don't get me wrong, it's football, it's NFL season. We're all excited to see what Odell is going to do. We're all excited to see Trevor Lawrence take the next step. The Saints you talked about, Washington, yada, yada, yada.
Packers,
that
Bears.
right side, that right side, I'm not really interested in anything on the right side. Outside of Packers, Bears, only because the Lions are in the NFC North and then the Jets, Bills. But that side is like, it looks like a bunch of Sunday night games from last year. This side is where the action is.
I am interested to see what Philadelphia does at New England. You know, it is the first game, 2 coordinators, Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl loser. You know, those things usually don't turn out. Bill Belichick, Bill Belichick has an entire offseason to plan for you.
That's a tough first game.
It's a tough place to play for a first game. It is. And obviously in the division, you've got Packers and Bears. How good are the Green Bay Packers? That is a good team, but how far can their quarterback take them? Jordan Love. How far can Jordan Love? If Jordan Love goes into Chicago and wins that football game, I think that is a really good thing for them. Might build some momentum. If Justin Fields loses that game, maybe they go further in the tank. There's just so many different questions with that game.
I'm definitely interested to see what happens with the Packers and with the Packers and the Bears. But you're bringing up that Patriots and the Eagles, and you said it's a tough place to play. This is true. But the one thing that they haven't done, Ryan, and until Bill Belichick does this, or until Bill Belichick hires someone to do this, or until Bill Belichick leaves, the NFL is about explosive players nowadays. It's about guys that can get down the field. It's about wide receivers that can give you 1,600 yards receiving, 12 touchdowns. It's about running backs that can catch and receive out of the backfield. The New England Patriots have no explosive players. No explosive players. And yes, they pick up Ezekiel Elliott, and that's your explosive player.
He looked a little chunky.
Outside of Ramondre Stevenson, who's definitely one of the better running backs in the NFL, they don't have an explosive player. And until you get an explosive player, I can't see you matching up with an explosive offense like the Philadelphia Eagles. This is 2023, Ryan. They got to give you some guys where you're like, this guy can make some plays down the field.
Curious to see what San Francisco and Pittsburgh looks like, too, because, you know, we're going to do our picks, throughout the next couple of days with playoff seeds and all that stuff. And I'm telling you right now, one of the teams I'm putting in the AFC playoffs is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm doing it by just – I'm a big math guy. I'm a big numbers guy. You can't tell me that – let me put this in other words. I'm never betting against Mike Tomlin.
Right.
I'm just not doing it. Last year with a rookie quarterback, he was 9-8. He has never finished below 500. So if he got to 9 wins with a rookie quarterback last year, as ugly as it was, can he get to 10 this year? Is this the first year in 16 years of being a head coach in the National Football League that he's going to fall under 500? It might be. But until I see it, I'm not betting against him. So I am putting the Pittsburgh Steelers as one of my 7 playoff teams when I officially roll that out. Braylon's going to have one. Maz is going to have one. And we'll have that for you coming up either later this week or next week. That is yet to be determined. But Pittsburgh, to me, and again, against what we believe, what most people believe is an NFC favorite, one of them anyway, one of 2, the San Francisco 49ers. Looking forward to that game.
And I was going to say, that's actually a really good game. You asked that question about the the Eagles playing, first time starting, in the Patriots playing in Gillette Stadium. It's a tough place. Imagine being Brock Purdy coming off surgery, playing in Pittsburgh.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt. You talking about, man, having a fun side bet. Who's going to have more sacks between Bosa and TJ Watt? With both those quarterbacks, that could be a damn good game for Pittsburgh and Mike Tomlin to start the season off with a bang and let you know, hey, we're the Steelers, we're back, and we're rolling. That wouldn't be a bad upset watch.
Yeah, just to Jake Wagner, who says he's finished at 500. So yeah, but you can't finish at 500 anymore.
No,
you can't.
I guess if you have a tie in there,
until they add the new game, man.
Yeah, right. You can't finish at 500 anymore. So and even if you do finish at 500, gang, that's not a losing record.
It's not.
The man has never had a losing record. So look. The AFC's tough. He might have a losing record this year. But again, until I see it, I'm not buying it, right?
I hate when people make comments like that. It's like he's never had a losing record. Like, well, he finished 500.
That's not a losing record.
Exactly. So it was a waste. It was a wasted point out.
Guys, Michigan has a new number one. We'll talk about Roman Wilson.
Am I an old number one
you
now?
are an old
I'm
number
old guy.
one. You will always be number one.
How many ones will they have?
I don't mind being old.
I want your perspective on that. And the Michigan Wolverines opening up at home this week against East Carolina. We'll talk about that. Then Dan Miller coming up top of the hour. But first, a message from SMA.
Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone else you know is struggling, head to thesportssma.com. That website again, thesportssma.com.
Winners, losers, pushes and draws, over-unders, prop bets, futures and spreads. Are you sick and tired of your picks being losers? Do you want to learn how to bet like a champion? Well, Woodward Sports searched the globe for the most dangerous man with a bet slip in his hand and gave him a show. Coming soon to Woodward Sports. Tune in every weekend as we introduce the greatest gambler to ever walk the earth.
Hi, I'm Booner, and I don't lose.
How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway, take your closest friends, and live it up in the city that never sleeps? It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win that $100,000 Vegas getaway and register at drinkcintron.com/Vegas and buy your Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and for the people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves with Cintron. The website is drinkcintron.com/Vegas, drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Woodward Sports Network on a Wednesday, the final day of August. Actually, is there tomorrow, August 30? Is there 31 days?
Yes,
tomorrow's the 31st.
Okay, so tomorrow is the final day of August.
Final day.
All right, we'll do that again. Woodward Sports Network on the second to last day in the month of August. Cannot believe it. Football season is here, gang. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button for us. Let's see if we can get to over 200 likes by the time Dan Miller joins us 12 minutes from now. We'll talk some Lions football with the voice of the Detroit Lions, dapper Dan Miller. I do want to sneak a college football topic in here if I could. We have not talked much about Michigan. It feels like everything about Michigan season, be totally honest with you guys, is about 3 games, right?
Yeah.
Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State. One day it won't be like that. Next year maybe there will be a little bit more excitement when they play Texas in the first or second game of the season, I believe it is. But we are where we are, and that's a pretty damn good place to be, I suppose, because you expect Michigan to just truck everybody they play until those 3 games. 35.5-point favorite against East Carolina. Kirk Campbell, quarterback coach Kirk Campbell, is going to be calling the plays for Michigan this week. So if you have a thought on that, feel free. And also, Roman Wilson will wear number 1. He has changed his jersey number to number 1. Braylon Edwards, there is another number 1 in the house. That's you. How do you feel about that, Roman Wilson? Best, most reliable wide receiver at Michigan right now?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's the most reliable receiver in Michigan. I think he's a guy that, one, he challenges the DBs deep. I think he also runs better routes. He's the best route-running wide receiver currently on that team. So if you're looking for who's the guy who's going to be the bell cow, who's the guy that they're looking to make plays at the wide receiver position, then look no further than former number 14, currently Number one, congratulations on winning number. We're proudly. We do believe in you. He had some chances to make a lot of plays last year. Early on in the season, you remember J.J. McCarthy, and this is where Maz has a valid point, wanting to see what's going to happen with the maturation of J.J. McCarthy. Roman was beating guys early on in the season last year. The Iowa game, he was open down the field a couple times earlier in the season, open down the field, and the connection, whatever it was, it just could not get there. But he made some big catches during that season, and I think he's a guy they trust. I think he's a guy they trust. I think he's a leader. I think he's a guy that steps up. He's athletic as hell. He makes plays, but he does it within the team scope. And I think for Harbaugh, Harbaugh is a big component nowadays of trying to give the number one out to players once they have done something to earn it. So he has my blessings, not like he needed it. And I think he's going to be something special this year for that wide receiver. I mean, JJ has to have a guy. JJ has to have a guy if he's going to take that next step, Maz.
No doubt.
And I think number one, Roman Wilson, I'm hoping that he's that guy.
Well, there hasn't been a 1,000-yard receiver yet in the Harbaugh era. Maybe this guy will be it. Maybe he'll break the ceiling this year. Maybe they'll let J.J. McCarthy have some fun this year. I just hope he's the only number one on the team. I hate the double numbers, and I know you run out of numbers because you have so many guys on the field. But if I see 2 number ones, that's going to really piss me off.
Well, you definitely have 2 number 2s. They might be your 2 best players on the team. That's Will Johnson and Blake Corum.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's 2 number 1s or not. But I'll say this about Roman Wilson. I think Jim Harbaugh said it the other day at his Monday press conference where he said, we would like to be a 50-50 team. Run 50% of the time and pass 50% of the time. And I think that is music to a lot of Michigan fans' ears. Is it not? I mean, Michigan is so dominant up front. They have 2 of the best running backs in the country. I think as a tandem, they do have the best running backs in the country. Why wouldn't you just turn the ball and hand it off every single play? Because you're probably at least, for 10 of 12 games, maybe even more than that, you are going to be able to dominate up front with those 5 NFL caliber offensive linemen. And it will be a challenge almost to air it out a little bit because why would you stop doing something that's working for you? But I think it is necessary to throw the ball a little bit more than they've been doing over the last couple of seasons.
You asked a question, but you said yourself when you asked it, and Maz, I know you caught on to it, is why would you sacrifice something that's working? It's not working in the playoffs. And that's when we needed to work. We needed to work in the playoffs because, look, we've gone 13-0. When I say we, Michigan has gone 13-0. I'm no longer part of that team. Michigan currently has gone 13-0. Michigan has gone 12-1. But Michigan's gotten to that final stage, and they haven't been able to start or they haven't been able to finish games in the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting to see it. Another big thing that Michigan's going to have to do this year, I'm looking right in the camera on this one, it's the red zone, but more importantly, it's like the last 9 yards of the red zone. Matt, how many times are you watching plays where it seems like Michigan would prefer to be 25 yards out, 22 yards out, 30 yards out?
Get more room.
Once that butthole starts getting tight, man, that's what they call it in the locker room. That's what it's called in the locker room in the red zone. That's why they have a red zone. That's why they have a fringe. Once it starts getting tight, you start to see nervous plays. For you to have a line that is that good, they've been the best linemen in college football.
It's going to be better this year.
And it's going to be better this year. The last 3 years now in college football, you've had the best backfield the last 3 9. Let's not forget about Hassan Haskins and what they did that year. But you still struggled in that red zone. That's why I want them to implement the pass with Cornelius Johnson, with Mike Sanders still doing double duties on offense and defense, and obviously number one, Roman Wilson. Got to get the ball, and Loveland at tight end. Definitely Loveland tight end. Got to get the ball in the end zone.
Lovelace, right?
Loveland. There were 3 wide receivers last year for the Michigan Wolverines that combined for about 1,500 yards. Like if you take the running backs out of it and the tight end position out of it, just if you just look at the receiving yards by wide receivers last year, Ronnie Brown, Cornelius Johnson, and Roman Wilson, those 3 wide receivers combined for about 1,500 yards.
Yeah.
There were 31 wide receivers in college football last year that had 1,000 yards alone. You know what I mean? That is just you just got to get that going a little bit.
By the way, Ronnie Brown did make the Niners.
Yeah, good for him.
Shout out to Ronnie Bell.
Yeah. Ronnie Bell. Did I say Ronnie Brown?
No, you said Ronnie Bell. What are
Oh,
you
I
talking
did.
about?
Okay.
And that's the thing about it. We're not asking Jim Harbaugh to change the game and have J.J. McCarthy drop back 45 times a game, trying to throw for over 500 yards, trying to have a 5,000-yard a year like Joe Burrow. We're not asking that. We're just trying to ask that you keep keep the defense, keep them off schedule. When they know you're going to run, when they know they can't stop it, but when they know all you're going to do is run, it's easy for them to guess what you guys are going to do.
Guys, Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway. He's right over there.
Look at that sexy guy.
He's going to be hosting our Lions post-game show after every Lions game all season long. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Maz and special guests each week directly following every Lions game exclusively on WSN's YouTube channel. Speaking of the Lions, we'll talk to Dan Miller momentarily here on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Dan Miller, voice of the Lions, Fox 2 sports director. I do want to continue on for a couple of minutes with college football. Even though the Michigan Wolverines have a cupcake, there are some great Week 1 college football matchups, and we'll get a look at those on the screen right now, the Week 1 college football matchups. None bigger, I think, than LSU and Florida. But there's some good ones. Big noon kickoff. Talking about that noon game that you don't like. How about big noon kickoff at TCU for Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes?
And they're white.
Heading into TCU. Pretty good Week 1.
It's going to be great to watch. It's going to be great to watch Deion come out with that all white, that gold trim. Everybody wearing sunglasses. It's going to be turned. They copied the turnover buffs. But that's okay. We're used to that in Michigan. But you're absolutely right, Ryan. You look at that matchup, and it's LSU against Florida State. Jaden Daniels last year, he comes back for LSU. You see what he did last year, beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa, by the way, Brian Kelly's first year. That's the game, and everybody thinks that Florida State, everybody thinks that they have a quarterback as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. North Carolina, you talk about Drake May is this number 2 guy behind Caleb Williams. They open up against South Carolina, so it'll be interesting what South Carolina had a pretty good defense last year. I think Spencer Rattler's in year 10, right? So Spencer Rattler in year 10, and you talked about it. TCU is not an easy team for Deion to open up. I'm interested to see what Florida's going to do this year because they got a guy down there, Maz. It seemed like he's got his finger on the pulse at head coach, and I think he finished with the number 3 recruiting class this year. So
You guys watch Swamp Kings yet?
I am watching it.
It's horrible.
I am watching it. I don't love it that much.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's kind of
It's a little fluffy, huh?
Yeah, it's lame.
That's what I'm hearing.
Kind of. You know what? It's a sales piece to get Urban the job at Texas. Because everything about this is talking about Urban and how good of a coach he is, where he's willing to go.
It is all about Urban Meyer.
It's the fluff piece to.
You think he wants Texas?
100% Texas is the next spot for him. Everywhere he goes is building it back up. He built Florida back up from the depths. He built Ohio State back up after Tressel and everything that happened. Texas is next on the board. But they didn't talk about Riley Cooper. They didn't talk about the Pouncey twins. They didn't talk about Carlos Dunlap. Like the running back Rainer. They glossed over what he did. You don't remember what he said? He said win or death or die or something that came out. They glossed over what made them people want to talk about him. I understood they couldn't talk about Aaron Hernandez. I understood that based on
Why
that.
couldn't you, though? Like, that's what a documentary is all about, though, isn't it?
Well, maybe I didn't know. I don't think they couldn't. I just
got his
understood
own
that they
doc.
made. I understood they may stay. It's taboo.
Right, yeah.
I understood they may stay away from it. There was so many players and so many more aspects. They didn't even talk about the strength and conditioning coach.
JB, did you finish that?
Yeah, so I finished it, and as Braylon said, it is basically a fluff piece about Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow. Yeah, I mean, it's
But
not
Tebow
terrible.
deserved it.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it is a very kind of puff piece about the Florida Gators. They're missing a lot of information.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, oh, it's like pulling teeth to continue to watch it.
Then it's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't
So you didn't
think
like
so.
the last 2. You didn't like Balco, and you didn't like
I
Swamp
thought
King.
Balco was terrible. I
did
turned it off in like 20 minutes.
I couldn't watch that, but with I agree, I couldn't watch it. With the Swamp Kings, I could watch it. It just wasn't what I thought I was getting.
All right.
Like, I love football, so once they got into the season, they're gonna bring guys like me in. It was fun to watch, but it just was like for everything that they didn't talk about nearly half of it.
It does make me, one of the things it did make me want to do, though, and talk about a total bucket list item, I do want to go around to the SEC and go, like, Go to
games.
a Florida game. Go
Yeah.
to an Alabama game. Go to an Auburn game. Go to an Ole Miss game.
LSU.
Go to Tennessee.
I got former teammates that start going.
You know, I'd love to do that one day. It's just that'd be so much fun.
But you got Lukey.
yeah.
Like, I feel like it would be like watching a USC story, which obviously they have on 30 for 30. I see you over there. Obviously they have, and not talking about Reggie Bush.
Right.
Like, it'd be like that,
Yeah.
like taking out the Reggie Bush element. It was like, well, I mean, I love Lindell, I love Matt Lyon,
Right.
but damn, I wanted to see Reggie.
That's one I would like to see because when
It's already got one.
Oh, they got one?
The, what do they call it? It's the Trojan Men, or it's
Yeah.
a
The
commercial.
Trojan War.
It's a 30 for 30.
Oh, maybe I did see
Yeah.
that. Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience.
All right.
Register for a chance at the trip of your dreams. All expenses paid. Sweet for the 2024 NCAA tourney. That's right. No expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds.
Oh, 5?
Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's open 7 days a week. You could walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Make it awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Hey, calling all landscapers, how would you like to landscape like a legend? Register for your chance for Darren McCarty, Stanley Cup champ, to work your crew for a day. That's right, Darren McCarty
What?
on a zero turn, weed whipping and edging for your favorite clients. Sign up today, DMAC on your landscaping crew for a day. Sign up, OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground. How about that?
DMAC will do it. You just gotta love Darren McCarty. That's all I can say.
That's going to be the longest landscaping job of the decade.
Oh my God!
Now you gotta take smoke
so
break.
awesome, guys. Let's bring him in. He is the voice of the Detroit Lions, and of course, Fox 2 Sports Director Dan Miller, joining us ahead of the Lions and Chiefs 8 days from today. Dan Miller, first of all, this is a totally lame question, but 8 days from today, aren't you just ready to go? How great is this?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, you think about being there and they're going to raise their banner and you're playing the team that won the Super Bowl and all the pomp and circumstance. Every eye in the National Football League will be on you. I mean, it's an honor to play in that game. You'd like to be the home team in that game because that means you did something pretty special the year before. But no, I can't wait. You got to get to that because there's so much going on now with the roster churn and practice squad and everything that's going to happen. But, here in about 24 to 36 hours, it's going to be all Kansas City, and they're going to be into a somewhat normal week as they get ready for a Thursday night game. So, yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it for a long time. It's almost here, and I can't wait.
Hey, Dan, I was after 4 o'clock, we got off the air, and you hear a couple of little things coming across. They're going to release this guy. They're going to probably keep this guy. Then I'm waiting. Then I see the Steelers. They put out a whole thing. Here's our team. Here's the Rams. Here's the Eagles. I'm still waiting. Then at 6 o'clock,
You're very
I'm still
impatient.
freaking waiting. And now, they get down into the 53. And now today, I am still waiting. There's 3 guys on the practice squad, maybe 4. Where's my team? What is this, Mission Impossible?
I just read Justin Rogers just tweeted something reminding everybody how this has worked in the past, that teams have until 4 o'clock for guys to clear waivers, and then they get their waiver guys assigned to them. Then you can put your guys on injured reserve. And then he said last year around 6 o'clock, the practice squad came out. So listen, if you are that hungry for the practice squad, you might have to wait about 2 hours and 55 minutes. But I think it's on the way.
Thanks, Dan.
Dan, you see the circumstances. You see the circumstances I have to work with, Dan. You see what I have to deal with. You see what I'm dealing with.
Brad Holmes, I'm sure, could answer that much better than I could. Look, I was looking for those lists yesterday too, but sometimes it just takes a while for it to come out.
Hey, Dan, you mentioned something. You talk about the Kansas City Chiefs last year or this past season. They did win the Super Bowl, and they will be hanging those banners. But guess what? There was a team that finished pretty strong in the Detroit Lions that was gifted the chance to play against Kansas City. How good do you feel our options are? Our chances are. And I say are. What happened to that? Now I'm all of a sudden a Lions fan. How good are our chances against Kansas City, especially with a Chris Jones who doesn't look like he's going to be there for game one?
Well, yeah, that certainly doesn't hurt. He's a dominant football player, one of the best interior linemen in the entire league. So if he's not there, okay, that's cool. But no, look, I think this is a good team. The Lions are a good team. You have to go out there and play it. Kansas City is used to these big moments, bright lights, playing at home. They have the advantages in those regards. But Braylon, I want to see what this defense looks like. And you're going to get no better test than to play against, the guy who's been one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league for the past, 5 or 6 years. So right off the bat, you go against Mahomes. You'll learn something about a new secondary, which I can't sit here and tell you how good it's going to be. I think that defensive line is going to look markedly different than it did last year. I can't tell you how good it's going to be. I think it should be better against the run. I can't tell you for certainty that it will, though. So, and your chances are you're going to have a much different look at linebacker if Jack Campbell's in there taking a bunch of snaps. So it's hard to say, here's what's going to happen, here's what they're going to be. I think I know. I think this defense should be a top half of the league defense, but they have to go out there and prove it because for the past, couple years under this regime, years under the Patricia regime, they were anything but that. So I got to see it.
Definitely everything but that. Dan, talk about a move like in terms of Emmanuel Mosley. Emmanuel Mosley now off PUP. He's activated. Talk about what that means for Brad Holmes and the Detroit Lions because you're talking about a team that finished 32nd against the pass last year, and now you got a guy that's coming off ACL and you activate him. That's got to be a good sign for the Detroit Lions.
Well, I think it is, and I think what it says is they didn't want him to miss the first 4 games. I don't think it says that he's going to be there for Kansas City, and at this point I'd kind of imagine that he won't be just because we haven't seen him out there at practice at all. So, but I think what they wanted to do was get him on the roster, make sure that he's available if he's good to go in week 2 against Seattle or week 3 or week 4, whatever it is. I think that was their idea behind activating him. And look, with Emmanuel Mosley, they're better. Without him, they're better because when you bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Brian Branch has been probably the find of training camp and the guy that has been the biggest surprise and biggest star. Not that people didn't think he was good, but to come on this quickly is pretty incredible. To get Tracy Walker back, I think Jerry Jacobs looks like he's taking a nice step and looks like he's healthy again and ready to roll out there at that other starting cornerback, Cam Sutton. And Kirby Joseph is a year older, a year wiser, and coming off a terrific rookie season. So with Mosley, like I said, they're better than maybe they are today. But I think today they're better than they were last year, and that's going to be interesting to watch.
And part of that, too, Dan, you mentioned Brian Branch, is obviously these rookies. Whether when the depth chart comes out or not, whether they're first string, second string, they're going to get significant time. Broderick Martin, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch. That's 5 guys that look like they're ready to play day one.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think Martin is the guy that we'll see how much he plays. I think that there's some competition on that defensive line. But I think Branch has forced his way onto the field. I do think that things indicate he's going to start right now at the nickelback position and that you're going to get at your nickel corner position and that they're going to move CJ back to safety. And that's just a testament to how he's played. They haven't been able to keep him off the field. He's been too good. And you're going to get a heck of a test in week 1 against Mahomes because, believe me, Patrick Mahomes, as good as Brian Branch might be, is going to test him. He knows that he's not played in the National Football League before, so he'll test him in this game. But, look, I think the other part of that equation, Ryan and Braylon, is this defensive line. and playing the way that it played the second half of last year, and now having a healthy Romeo Okwara, a healthy James Pascal, a healthy, guys that weren't there at 100% last year. James Houston for an entire season.
Julian
Aiden
Okwara,
Hutchinson
all
another
those
year.
guys, yeah.
Yeah, all these guys that have been there, and I have said before, I'll say it again, the guy I'm probably most intrigued by is Josh Pascal.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a second-round pick who was a guy who made plays and could dominate at times at Kentucky. And they really were excited about him coming into his rookie season. He was never healthy last year, but he's healthy now. And I think he's got a chance to be a force for this team on the inside and on the outside, a versatile piece that you can use either place. I think he's kind of the guy that I'm keeping an eye on that could be a real difference maker on that defensive line.
And when you add a guy like a Josh Pascal, it feels like, an added first-round pick, essentially, when you're just bringing him on the roster. How much better does he make everybody next to him? How much better does a Josh Pascal make, an Isaiah Buggs or an Aiden Hutchinson? That's how this team gets going, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And seeing Levi Onwuzurike out there. And, finally he's healthy and able to play. And another second-round draft pick that they had high hopes for when they drafted him. I don't know what they're going to get out of him, but just seeing him out there with a chance to play and take snaps, and for us to be able to find out how good he is, I think is intriguing for this defensive line. So I think there's a lot of pieces kind of floating around out there with this defensive line. We just talked about guys coming back off of injury, Charles Harris and Okwara as well. So how does it all fit together? And then how do they all play together, I think is a huge question for this team, because everything they do up front makes everybody else better. And I think the possibilities are there that they can be pretty good.
Hey, Dan, as much love as the Lions are getting, probably only second to the Jets as far as national love goes, they are still sitting in Las Vegas at 9.5 wins. That number has not moved since the beginning of the year. And the spread against the Chiefs hasn't moved. It's still 6.5, even though Chris Jones is out. Does that tell you anything about what we're looking forward to on this team? Are we too much thinking they're going to win 14 games?
I think what it tells you is, you guys know how this works. It moves based on where people bet. And I think what it tells you is there's a lot of people out there that might believe in the Lions, but there's a lot of people who know the Lions' history, and they're saying, you got to show me, and they're betting the under. And as long as you have that being somewhat equal, then you know what? The casinos are going to live off the vig, and they're going to be fine. So I think what it tells you is, as much as there's people that are bullish on this team, there are people that are not buying in yet and saying, you got to show me, and I'll put my money on history saying the Detroit Lions aren't going to win. And you know what? That's on the Lions to change. I've talked about that a million times. You want to change that conversation? Win games. It's just that simple. You want people to forget about what's happened in the past? Win games. Now, the truth is, this team doesn't have anything to do with 2008. This team doesn't have anything to do with any of the disappointments that have had in the past. This team will carve out its own place in history, good, bad, or indifferent, whatever it ends up being. But you do carry that stigma of the teams that have come before you. And that's what it says to me about why a line like that is where it is or why it hasn't moved. That line will move based on how people bet, period.
Hey, Dan, I have a question about the offense. I was a guy I'm looking at. I know that Jared Goff had a really good season last year, especially in that last 10-game stretch. You look at the numbers that they put up. You look at the touchdowns that he put up. And watching going into this year, I'm like, I just and this is initial, by the way. I just don't see them being able to repeat that. I don't know if he can do those numbers again. Where's the other receiver? Where's the other guy? But Dan, am I wrong? Because now I'm analyzing. I'm saying last year, Amon-Ra St. Brown missed some games. He was injured at times. DJ Chark wasn't there the whole season. They had to find wide receivers to fill the roles. DeAndre Swift, is he going to play this week? Is he going to be limited this week? As I'm looking, they were able to do all that last year with rotating wide receivers, with Jamal Williams coming in. Sometimes it's Craig Reynolds, sometimes it's Josh Jackson. And to be that efficient with that much going on, I actually believe now that they could be better on offense this year. I'm starting to buy in. Am I wrong?
Well, the stability, Braylon, starts up front. The stability starts with that offensive line. That's the face of this team. That's who this team is built around. Is that offensive line. They're healthier now than they were at any point last year. So the hope is that they can be better up front than they were a year ago. And they were pretty good. It's the best running game we've seen here since Barry was here. Yeah. So, no, I don't think it's crazy to think that they could be better, but I think they just have to go out and carve out an identity for this team. And I think the identity hopefully is the same. They're a team that can run the ball and control the ball on the ground. They're a team that can protect their quarterback, and they're a team that takes care of the football. If you do those things, you're going to be effective, because I think the big plays will come. I think the big plays with Amon-Ra will come. The big plays with Gibbs will come. Laporta's going to be a player. Khalif Raymond had a terrific season last year. I think, Marvin being back, I think he'll play a role as a veteran on this team. I think they have different options. I agree with you. I do kind of look at that receiving core, and I feel like, man, there's just like one piece that's missing. There's one piece that you wish they kind of had. But look, you know this as well as anybody. Teams aren't perfect. You find a way to work with what you got, and their way to work with that might be Gibbs is more involved in the slot, working outside. Laporta takes on a larger role than we had in the tight ends last year. Good in the red zone, maybe not huge overall, but a guy that might be a high-volume pass catcher, and I think that would make a difference for this team.
Yeah, one of the small things I'll just follow up with, I'm intrigued and I'm happy about Marvin Jones Sr. I think one thing we said, he's consistent. Marvin Jones Sr. is going to show up. He's going to play you 16 and 17 games. He's going to give you 880 yards. Last year, DJ Chark was inconsistent. So that's the one thing I do like this year. I like Marvin Jones. You can count on him, I think.
Hey, Dan, you talk about
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
just let me say this. The one thing about Marvin that was so apparent in training camp that he has been great at since the day he walked in the door here, and I assume he probably was in Cincinnati too. You throw a 50-50 ball up there, he's going to find it. Yeah. I mean, he is just so good when it comes to contested catches. And if there's anything training camp showed me, that at the age of 33, and I think I saw, again, I think I'll reference Justin here. I think I saw yesterday, outside of the special teams guy with New England, whose name escapes me.
Number 15,
he's the oldest
wide
receiver. He's the oldest wide receiver to make a roster this year.
Wow.
So, but, I mean, he looks great. I mean, Marvin and I have talked many times. His weight has remained the same for like the last 12 years. It hasn't changed a pound.
That's true.
Just like me.
So I think he's ready to go and do, just
like you, Matthew Slater.
I think he's ready to I think he's ready to do whatever's asked of him. I don't think he'll be in the same role, obviously, that he was the first 5 years he was here, but he'll have a role.
Hey, Dan, final thing from me. You mentioned just protecting the football, and it just seems so simple. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Jared Goff in the first 7 games last year, 6 interceptions. Jared Goff in the last 10 games last year, 1 interception, 8 wins. You know, I mean, it just seems so simple. Protect the football, win the turnover battle, and win games. Is it that simple?
Well, it's the biggest indicator of winning and losing in the NFL is a turnover battle. I mean, you win that battle, statistics say your chances of winning go up. You win it by 1, it goes up. You win it by 2, it goes up significantly. If you win it by 3, it's overwhelming that your chances of winning are there. And you know what? Here's the key to that, though. And I asked Mark Brunell about that during the offseason. He did it without getting too conservative. In other words, yes, he dialed down the interceptions, but he didn't dial down the production. And you can tell a quarterback don't do it anymore, and they're going to kind of just take the easy throw every time. He was still taking chances. He was just taking the right chances. And I think that's huge for this team. The difference between 1-6 and 8-2 guys was about not turning the ball over, taking the ball away on defense, and then the fact that they stopped committing a lot of the turnovers that were just making life easy for the opponents. So, I mean, some things in this game are complicated, some aren't. And there's some mistakes that you can make to beat yourself that just you can't live with in the NFL. Turnovers and penalties are right there.
In those last 10 games, 18 touchdowns, 1 interception. Just an incredible run, incredible quarterback play. Dan Miller, enjoy the week of preparation. I know it's kind of a crazy week for you with a Thursday game and a road opener, so enjoy it. And thanks so much for chatting with us here. We'll talk to you again maybe in a couple of weeks here.
Thanks, Dan.
You got it. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Dan.
Appreciate
it. Dan Miller, everybody. Guys, let me tell you about this. Woodward Sports College Football Game Day just got better. For the love of college football pregame show, it debuts September 2nd, and then every Saturday morning from 8:30 to 10 a.m. Spencer, Rackster, Flannel Sam, Easy, and more will preview all the big games on the Saturday schedule that Saturdays have to offer. Start your Saturdays with us. For the love of college football pregame show, only on WSN's YouTube channel. Guys, it does seem so simple. Turnovers, right?
Always.
Yeah.
I mean, think about
that's the difference.
Maz, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in the first 7 weeks of the season.
Not many wins.
1-6.
Yep.
18 touchdowns, 1 interception in the final 10. 8 wins.
I rest my case.
Turnovers affect everything. They affect the momentum of the game. They affect the defense's attitude. They affect field position. They affect a lot of things. And you get to turn that ball over, you stay off track, and that's when the defense starts to annoy doing their job.
Guys, we'll do cap or no cap. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Swiss.
Yes. Do you have football on the brain, kind of like myself? Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year is going to be awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. So why not shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance? They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or give them a call at 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
I'm going to talk about 5 Iron Golf. Downtown, located at the Cambria Hotel. It is the new place to hang out downtown Detroit. 13 simulators. I'm talking 13 brand spanking new simulators. I would tell you what they cost, but I have to kill you. But also, they serve food, drinks, the vibe. It's going, it's good, it's packed. And also now, Thursdays, Woodward Sports does a Thursday night golf league. That's right, 5 to 7. Come down, hang out with friends. It's the popping place to be. And also, since the NFL season started, a lot of those Thursday night games, you want to come and get your space, get your base set up. 5 Iron Golf, downtown Detroit.
There you go. Guys, it is Wednesday, and that can only mean one thing. It is cap or no cap.
Ooh.
Braylon Edwards.
That's cap.
That is not cap.
That is not cap.
That is no cap.
That's no cap.
Explain for the people what we're doing here.
Let me get Parker set up over here. Alrighty, the way that we play cap and no cap. Cap means it is a lie. No cap means you agree with it. It means it is true. True or false with Ryan and Ermanni always breaks it down. It is a much easier way to do it. It's true or false. So I got some good ones for us this week, Maz, JB,
I'm ready.
Parker. Parker got a chance to see him, so he got a chance to look him over. Ryan, it's going to be a fun one.
Braylon?
I got him in my notes, so I can make sure I do them in order. You got him in order, how I had him on pick? All right.
Oh, baby.
Hey, you're going to love the last, I guarantee you, the last 4. You guys are really going to love. But let's get the party started. A lot of talk about Trey Lance. Trey Lance, we talked about him yesterday. The deal was done. Trey Lance for a 4th-round pick from 49ers to the Dallas Cowboys. So, Ryan, Trey Lance will replace Dak Prescott.
Cap.
At some point. Not this year. Just saying in the future. Some point this year. At some point in the future.
I think it's Cap. I don't think he's in a place to succeed. I think Dallas is a little bit of a chaotic organization. First of all, I don't think they have the structure there for Trey Lance to succeed. I do wish the young man well. And I also think that Dallas is going to be a good football team this year, despite all of the chaos. I think Dak Prescott is not a great quarterback, but good enough. I think that team is pretty darn good over there. I think they have the best defensive player in the NFL. That goes a long way. Ooh. I think they have some of the best. They do have some really good receivers over there, including CeeDee Lamb. They've got enough for Dallas to make a significant run, but they will not do it. They will not need Trey Lance in order to do it.
And remember also, this doesn't mean this year, Maz. So this could be in 2 years, man. So Maz, so that's Cap from Ryan. Maz asked you the same question.
I got no Cap.
Nice.
I believe he's going to be the future of the Dallas Cowboys.
Okay.
I believe he's going to be able to sit there for a couple more years, learn it. Dak is probably not the answer long term. I think we've all gotten to that point. I think we've heard Jerry Jones, and I think he's gone behind Dak's back. And Mike McCarthy's back enough to know, hey, I know better than you guys. I'm betting on this kid. They gave him a 4th-round pick for him. I want to believe in this kid. He can't be as bad as they're painting him out to be. I think San Francisco was just the wrong spot for him at that time, and there was too much pressure on them to get him in the lineup, and he was not ready yet.
Gotcha. Want to spend your weekends with us? Now you can. Woodward Sports Live Game Watch Party, the latest show to hit WSN's YouTube channel. Premiere September 2nd. That's this Saturday, 12 o'clock to watch Michigan and East Carolina. Then, of course, on September 7th, watch the Lions and Chiefs kick off the NFL season. Join us game days, Woodward Sports Live Game Watch Party, only on WSN's YouTube channel. And if you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Let's get to over 200 likes by the end of this segment. Braylon Edwards.
I agree with Tom Mazaway. I'm tell you like this: Jerry Jones is a chaotic owner, and he owns in a chaotic way. I think he was bought there for a reason. You don't give up a 4th rounder if you don't have intentions at some point on using Trey Lance. I don't believe he believes in Dak anymore. You heard what Dak said. He said, "I'm not surprised about anything that goes on here lately." I'm telling you, I'm not saying it's this year, but hey, with Jerry, you never know. Trey Lance will start in place of Dak at some point within the next 365 days.
What'd they trade for him?
4th-round pick.
What round did Dak come in?
4th round.
Okay.
Look at Maz. Maz, since you're so good, I'm going to send this next question out to you.
All right.
Jonathan Taylor.
Oh, JT.
He went, look, he was given permission to seek a trade. He sucked a trade, and guess what? Nobody nibbled at the bait, the tackle that they put out there for him. So now he's back with the Colts. He will sit out the whole season. Cap or no cap, Tom Mazaway.
I'm going to say, wow.
Because
I'm gonna say Cap.
He's on pup, so he's gonna miss the first 4.
I'm gonna say Cap. I say week 5, they figure something out, and he gets in and helps Anthony Richardson win a couple of games for Indianapolis. I can't see him sitting out. Le'Veon Bell, he's got to look at what happened with Le'Veon Bell and know to not do that. He's got to get some action with this team. Will he get booed? Hell yeah. He'll play though.
And that's exactly, I think, why you see Josh Jacobs in camp at $12 million, why Saquon Barkley is back, Austin Eckler.
Eckler.
Yeah, Austin Eckler. And all the rest of these running backs that do believe they have a legitimate gripe. They're just not going to sit out because $12 million is better than no million. Now, unless Jonathan Taylor feels like he just cannot work for that owner,
right?
Which... You pay me $12 million, I'll work for anybody. You know what I mean?
He ain't going to wear that C, though.
No, probably not. But Anthony Richardson will wear that C.
Yeah.
And probably the quarterback should wear the C.
Agreed.
For any decent Super Bowl caliber organization, the quarterback should wear the C, I would think. But we'll see. I think that's no cap.
Oh, you think so? You think no cap?
I think he's going to play.
So it's Cap.
Oh, so it's Cap.
Yeah.
Sorry. Cap,
yeah. See, come on. I thought you had the hang of it,
Yeah,
man.
I do have the hang of it. I'm very hip to the cap or no cap.
The fact that you use hip lets me know you're not hip.
Very hip. Guys, we are going to continue on with cap or no cap next. But first, let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay hip.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Stay out of here.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Have you ever argued with your little brother? How about some random guy you're stuck in a room with for an hour? Flannel Sam and Spencer Raxter are at each other's throats. One Spartan alumni and one Walmart Wolverine are locked in a room with nowhere to hide. You're welcome. Whether it's go blue or go green, you can go to woodwardsports.com for all the action. Coming soon to a device near you.
Calling all landscapers, this is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Wondering where the best Lions tailgate is? That's easy. It's Eastern Market, the official Detroit Lions tailgate party at Shed 5 in Eastern Market. Woodward Sports going to be broadcasting live for every home game. 3-star Michelin buffet featuring Chef Aaron May, VIP parking, and even tickets if you need them. How do you sign up? All you have to do is go to bullseyeeventgroup.com and tailgate like a VIP. That's bullseyeeventgroup.com.
Hey, I passed the Crack Man's house the other day.
Oh, yeah.
I love passing
over there
that
on
place.
North Avenue. You got to honk when you go by.
He's got a little house, guys, with a big garage. This big bus in front, the Lions bus, and his Lions F-150 in the garage. I mean, it is all Lions out.
Hey, Maz, can you get the Crack Man on for us one day?
Absolutely.
Bring him in studio.
Yeah, we'll get him in.
Get him in studio maybe Tuesday or something like that, because he'll be traveling,
No
I
doubt.
would think,
No doubt.
to Kansas City. Longtime Lions fan, what he thinks of this season.
Oh,
Get the Crack
man.
Man in here
Hopefully they're paying for his ticket.
on Tuesday.
Maz, what street was it on?
North Avenue.
I live by there.
Yeah. You can't miss
You
it.
can't
The truck's
miss it.
out in front, the Lions garage.
It's right before Hall Road.
Yep. That's fantastic stuff. All right, Braylon Edwards, continue on with cap or no cap.
Man, a lot of college quarterbacks now playing week 1, man, and that's no cap. Looking at Cade McNamara, Iowa, and looking at Cam Rising.
Oh, he's not?
No, I told you he was more hurt.
Cade McNamara.
He
Remember
may
I
not
told
play,
you
still
that?
trying to figure it
Probably
out.
weren't paying attention.
And then Cameron Rising, who I think right now is rated number 5 or 6.
That's Utah's quarterback?
Utah's quarterback.
They play tomorrow night.
They do. And he may not play.
It's a great name for a quarterback.
Yeah.
They have, but you know what's so funny nowadays, like with the way parents are naming their kids, they're naming them for like moments. So like back in the day, like you have a great name, it's like your great name happened. Like now they're naming their kids like they did the East-West draft, kind of like Key and Peele of the current players in college football. You hear some of these names, like you're like, no, that's not a real name. That's their real name. I gotta pull it up. Give me a second. I'll pull it up towards the end. But let's get back to cap or no cap.
Got to
get this rolling. And this is a great. Oh, you know what? skip the last question. I believe he's gonna sit out because I don't believe he likes the owner. I believe at the end of the day, he took it was a disrespect. It was a hit, and I feel like he feels he's justified if he does sit out. Hey, you know what?
Oh, he would be justified.
Hey, you know what? My knee's not coming around like I want to, because what the running back's talking about in terms of if you don't want to pay me, hey, you know what? My knee hurts. Hey, my ankle hurts, and he actually is coming off a knee surgery, so I don't think he'll play. So that's no cap. Here we go, Matt. This is coming at you.
All right.
No, let me get this one to Ryan.
Okay. Ooh-wee.
Ryan, there is no clear-cut number 1 seed in the NFC, cap or no cap, because the two that we said.
There is
a clear.
Yeah, cap or no cap.
That's cap.
The reason why I asked that question is, you know why? The 49ers, what the quarterback situation looks like, the Philadelphia Eagles, do you believe in no Shane Steichen? Do you believe in not their defensive coordinator? You saw that played out in the Super Bowl anyway. I don't know if there is a clear-cut NFC
I do.
number 1 seed.
I do. There is not a clear-cut number 1 seed in there because the two teams that everybody is pointing to as the top 2 seeds in the NFC, the Philadelphia, I guess if I went Philadelphia, then
hey, you know what? They would accept. They would appreciate it.
Philadelphia and San Francisco. I don't think either of those two teams win their division.
Right.
That is my bold prediction. Philadelphia and San Francisco. Neither team wins the division.
It's not bad.
No, cap.
And that's why I asked that question, Maz. What do you think? Is that cap or no cap?
That's a no cap to me. I still think it's Philly.
So you think Philly is
the
number 1
I think Philly
seed?
got better. The only thing they changed were their 2 coordinators. They still have a great head coach.
Change their running back.
They have a great, well, we'll see how that rolls.
Change their defensive tackle.
I don't care. I still
change their linebacker.
They got
change their safety.
That's fine.
I'm just being honest. I'm just throwing that out there.
I'm
JB,
saying Eagles.
Let's get you involved, JB. Do you think there's a clear-cut number 1 seed in NFC? Cap or no cap?
It's cap.
It's still Eagles?
It's
still San Fran?
Eagles and San Fran. It's hard to differentiate which one are going to be the top one out there, so this is cap.
Well, maybe I'm no cap then, right?
You believe,
no cap, you think there is a clear cut.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm cap.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a Ryan. I think it's cap.
That's cap.
I think it's cap. I think it's starting to open up more and more. We're taking shots at San Francisco for what they don't have or where the mistakes are, what we think people are going to be. More and more you look at the Eagles and you start to question. Shane Steichen, keep in mind, before Jalen Hurts was able to grow and mature, Shane Steichen's the kind of guy he did it with. So want to see it. I say, Ryan, I agree, it's cap.
I got something for you guys.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to love this, and Braylon's going to love this.
I'm all over the place.
The Lions are bringing in Zonovan Bam Knight from the Jets. Second year running back. The Jets fans hated that he left that team. The Jets let him go. The Lions are bringing him in. So maybe it ain't no Craig Reynolds coming back, but Zonovan Knight is.
There you go.
And I can tell you from personal experience, the New York Jets fans were crazy about him as a player. They were crazy about what he could do for the New York Jets. They liked him a lot. They actually didn't even want Dalvin Cook to come into the building. A lot of guys, a lot of fans that I've talked to for the Jets. So that's a major move for the Detroit Lions.
I love that.
Can I say one thing about this?
Yeah, go ahead.
How many times as Detroit sports fans, whether it was Al Avila or Kenny Holland or whoever was in charge of the Detroit Lions, maybe it'd be Matt Millen or whoever. How many times did we hate the fact that they fell in love with players? Dave Dombrowski even did it. I mean, whether it was Don Kelly or, you know what I mean?
Donnie Kelly, baby.
Donnie Kelly, baby, or whoever. Insert player name here. Donnie Kelly, really good first base coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates now, but neither here or there. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell do not fall in love with players. They fall in love with talented players. And if they think they can improve any position group by going outside of the roster, even if they like the guy, and we all love Craig Reynolds, and we still don't know what's going to happen with Craig Reynolds. But whoever it is, it just seems like these guys are in love with just getting this team more talented and not the actual individual players. And that's, sadly, because we're all human beings, we love these guys, we like these guys. Sadly, that's kind of what you need to do to win.
Let me ask this question for you guys.
Hold on, we got just.
If he's a young guy, second-year player, he had to go through waivers. So, indeed, the Lions then had to pluck him off waivers. Am I wrong?
No, that's right.
Or did he go over waivers and then no one took him and then they signed him as a free agent?
Lions plucked him before he finished waivers, probably.
I guess it don't matter. He's on the team.
Guys, want to spend your weekends with us? No. I want to tell you about the Lions pregame show. The Woodward Sports live pregame show returns for another season of Lions football. Join Jeff Iafrate, weekly special guest host on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Premiere September 7th at 6 o'clock. Then throughout the year, Sunday mornings, 9:30 to 11:30. Lions pregame show all season long right here on Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
You want to go to a commercial before we finish?
Oh, yeah, we could. Look at that. We could.
So much happening on this.
There is a lot happening.
It's a lot
here.
happening.
Let me do another commercial break, and we'll come back with more of Cap or No Cap. Having a little fun. Come on, big boy.
Maz.
Oh, is that big boy?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
My bad.
You're good.
Here he is.
Yeah.
I was waiting to get him. That's why.
Come on, big boy.
Strawberry Fest, of course, is continuing this summer at Big Boy. Make sure you get on down there and start your day off with a great breakfast, the strawberry hotcakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffles, or if you're not in the mood for breakfast, why not? How about some brunch? The strawberry bacon chicken wrap and the summer splash salad if you want to keep it light and save room for those desserts, the classic strawberry pie, the deep-fried vanilla Oreo, or the strawberry hot fudge cake. All yours at Big Boy.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
At the Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. How would you like to get involved? K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, Futuristic Media Center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K-8 athletics. The Academy of Warren is now accepting new enrollment, so go to the academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
Academy. Braylon Edwards, right back to it, my friend.
Right back to it. Let's get after it a little bit. Let's get these done a little bit faster. Here we go. Maz, this one's for you.
All right.
The Lions kicking game will cost them a game this year. Cap or no cap?
Great question.
That is no cap for sure.
That's no cap.
No cap for sure. First of all, Riley Patterson wearing his number 36 does not give me any confidence. And then you bring back Michael Badgley, the Money Badger, who was pretty good last year from inside extra point range. But that's it. I have no confidence in their kickers. It's the worst it's been in my life as a Lions fan. That's for sure. It will cost them a game.
I think it will be also cap. I think it will cost them a game, and I'll add
no cap.
No cap. And Dan Campbell cost them a game too at some point. Clock management.
But this is why we're happy they can win possibly 12 games. It goes down to 11. I agree with you guys. I think it's no cap. I think it does cost them, whether it's going to be in SoFi in November or whether it's against the Raiders. Next question. Somebody, this is from Ryan Ermanni, somebody signs Matt Ariza, a.k.a. Punt God.
Cap.
It's Cap.
Yeah,
You think the damage is done?
I think the kid's career is over.
Even though he was found innocent.
He wasn't even charged.
Exactly.
Yeah, he wasn't even charged. For those of you who don't know, he was accused of gang rape. It was revealed that he wasn't even in the home when the alleged situation happened. The prosecutor does not believe the woman that accused him, but it doesn't matter. The NFL hasn't touched him since.
Howie Roseman might take a shot because their punter was terrible during season. I'm gonna say that's Cap. I think somebody takes a try on him. I mean, if he's averaging 51.4 yards a punt, somebody's gonna take a shot.
Cap.
No Cap. Excuse me. Look, see, now you got me confused.
Right.
Running it right
I'm a
back.
no Cap as well.
Nah, here we go. Now we're gonna get into some fun ones. The Lions will pick up 2 or more players from that list that we got earlier today, talking about the players that were released around the league. They're some pretty decent names, most notably Bailey Zappi, who obviously re-signed with the Patriots.
I said Cap. I don't think they're adding anybody else.
Okay.
I don't think they're adding anybody that played for anybody else. I think it's just their own free agents.
They just did. They just signed one guy.
Yeah, I know, but
Some more.
now he said 2 more.
Happened.
I say no Cap. They will pick up 2 more players.
I think they'll pick up 2 more guys too. I think they're still leery about certain positions. I think they'll pick up 2 guys.
All right, Bray, before we move on, let me tell you that nothing says rivalry quite like Michigan and Michigan State. Flannel Sam, Spencer Raxter go head-to-head every Friday night starting September 1st, 10 to 11 p.m. Breakdowns of the Wolverines, the Spartans, previews of their matchups. Flannel Sam, Spenny. Tune in to the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Again, Friday nights, 10 to 11.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about the game next week because game is coming up. I mean, we're 9 days away from opening. 8 days away. Today is Wednesday. We're 8 days away, so let's start talking about that game. Mahomes will have over 300 passing yards next Thursday at Arrowhead against the Detroit Lions. Ryan Ermanni, what say you?
Cap!
Oh, that's Cap!
Cap!
Under 300 yards.
Under.
You believe in the defensive line and the Detroit Lions defense this season coming up to start the season? Okay. I'm with it.
Start on time.
I'm with it. Matt.
I'm putting a cap on that as well.
Cap to you too.
Yep, I think maybe about 275 yards, but not over 300.
Everybody's going to bet over. It's going to go under.
I'm saying Cap too. I think he's on under. If you look at a lot of games last year, Patrick Mahomes was under at 300 a lot of times when you bet on him, including the Super Bowl. So I will go under as well. Lions. You talk about how good that offense is under Ben Johnson. Why? Here you go, Ryan Ermanni. Last year they scored over 30 in the season opener. Will they score over 30 points in the season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs? Will possibly not have Chris Jones.
That is no cap.
Oh, let's go. It's Lions
baby.
love.
No cap.
It's Lions love today.
No cap.
They're going over 30 points.
31-24. Lions.
We got the early prediction.
Right. Early prediction.
I'm writing that one down. 31-24.
Well, when we do official predictions, I might change it.
Okay.
But,
You have the right. You called it. Maz?
I'm capping that one.
You capping that
I
one?
want it to be no cap, but I'm going to cap it. 30 points is a lot on the road. Last year they got Philadelphia, but it was at home. I got to go that they'll score under 30 against Kansas City at Arrowhead.
I'm going cap, but I think that they're going to score 30 on the nose. I'm not telling you what Kansas City is scoring yet, but I think the Lions score 30 on the nose. So I am
28.
going cap. They will not get over 30.
You can get good odds on that.
Hey,
bet that's straight up.
And guess what? You can get good and broke too. So I'll pass on that.
Good and terrible.
Good and terrible. Lions.
What do you get on the roulette board? 15 to 1?
Here's the last
or
one.
30 to 1?
I never played.
All right.
Here's the very last one. You talk about the resurgence of the Lions secondary. You saw what they did in the free agency, and you saw what Aiden Hutchinson was able to do on the defensive line last year. So I'm saying the Detroit Lions will have a sack and a takeaway. Cap or no cap?
What are you asking him for?
No cap.
You know the answer.
No cap. Lions sack,
Forward
touchdown,
down the
fumble.
field.
A Lions team that will not yield.
Punt return, kickoff return. They're going to do it all.
They're going to do it all.
They're going to do it all.
Touchdown.
What are you asking him for?
Touchdown.
Dan Campbell's going to score a touchdown.
He might.
Hey, I got JB. Come on, I gotta get the new voice on this.
New blood.
Will they have a sack and takeaway in the game?
In the very first game against Patrick Mahomes.
Yes. Sack and a takeaway.
That's cap.
So no sack and no takeaway.
They will get a sack, not a takeaway.
They won't get a takeaway. They will
Takeaway,
get a
that's
sack.
easy.
That's a fumble. It's an interception.
They'll get a
Definitely
sack.
get
That's a fourth down stop.
This is a sure bet.
This is a short bet.
Sure bet. No cap.
Yeah, I think this
Sure bet.
I think this is a short bet too, because I actually think Mahomes is gonna throw 2 picks. I think Mahomes.
2 picks?
I think 2 picks. I'm saying 2
I better
picks.
not start him in my fantasy game then.
2 picks and 2 sacks.
Wow.
No, you still can start him, because I ain't saying we pick. I think 2 picks and 2 sacks though for the Detroit Lions. That's what I'm going with. I've been drinking that Ryan Ermanni Kool-Aid, and ladies and gentlemen, that is this week's edition of Cap or No Cap.
Nice
You gotta
job.
thank your boy Parker for those graphics. This Parker came through.
JB,
on
good job.
the
And
graphics.
that sends
And
me to
JB.
this.
Thank you, Jay. I forgot.
For over 60 years, Fairway
sent them to
Packing
Parker.
has provided Michigan's finest hotels, restaurants, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience a Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
Sourced, age, prime, pack cut to perfection.
Are you a diehard college football fan? Well, it's your lucky day. Join special WSN guests like Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam, and more every Saturday. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Saturdays and tune in live from 8:30 to 10 a.m.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Hey guys, let me tell you about Les Stanford Buick GMC. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. They offer the same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile in the great city of Ferndale. If you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, check them out. Les Stanford in Dearborn today. Find the brand you want. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com.
Fine new road.
Find them. Braylon, you said you Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, I know we talk about him all the time because of Deion Maz. I know we talk about what he's going to do this year, what he is and is not going to be. I just think it's crazy. And though it's college football now, but Colorado has 84 new players on that team. Like, that's a lot. Like, if you get 10 guys, and I know it's not back in the day, but 10 guys is a lot. 20 guys is a lot. They will have 84 new guys. 56 of them transfer portal guys.
Look at that.
They're
That's what they are.
They are. You're right. If you mix a couple expansion teams together, they're like 2. Go ahead.
I'm buying Colorado. I am.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I'm buying Deion, which by extension.
I wonder what
I'm
the
buying
over-under
Colorado.
is on that.
I said 2 years. Okay, they're going to be in the college football
JB,
playoffs.
find me a number.
They'll be in the top 12 by 2025.
I agree. Yeah.
All right.
Easy.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
What do you got, Maz?
Just a couple of football notes. We did tell you about Zonovan Knight now, a Lion. He'll go to the practice squad from the Jets. I guess he had his choice, go back to the Jets. He told them, pound salt, I'm going to Detroit. So welcome to the team, kid. I think you're going to see this kid get on the field a few times this year, and I think you're going to like him. I've been following him on Hard Knocks and reading about him for the past couple of years. By the way, did you know the whole thing about Jonathan Taylor, how he went out and tried to find a trade? And you always heard there's a mystery team out there. There's a mystery team. Well, you know who the mystery team was that was really interested in getting him?
MD.
No, it's the Green Bay Packers.
What?
Yes, the Packers put out an APB and tried to get
It makes sense.
Jonathan Taylor. So what would have, we put it out on Woodward Sports, what would it have been had Jonathan Taylor,
Shoot,
had Jonathan Taylor went to the Pack?
Give him a second rounder and
what do you think of him going forward?
Hell yeah.
Green Bay.
That'd been a hell of a move. I mean,
They have Aaron Jones already.
Yeah.
First of all, wherever he goes, Maz, if he does go anywhere, he's the number one complete running back in the NFL right now. He's coming off injury. He's still the number one complete running back. I put him over Christian McCaffrey when he's at his best. So, I mean, if I had an opportunity, I'd definitely give up a third and Aaron Ross. You can take your pick. You can have A.J. Dillon, too. Yeah. I would give up Aaron Ross and a third rounder to get Jonathan Taylor.
Well, it didn't happen, and hasn't happened. He will be sitting out the first 4 games on the suspension list or the PUP list, whatever you want to call it. So that's that. We'll find out if he ever plays a game for the Colts going forward. Here's one for you guys. The Colts, kicking with them. Do you know the Colts do not have a player over the age of 30.
It's incredible.
On their team. Well, what do we say about the Lions? Oh, you got to go out and get D-Hop. You got to go out and get Odell Beckham. No, they don't want the veterans anymore.
Yeah,
These teams want the young kids.
They also don't want to win games. Like you don't have to have guys over 30, but you got to have some guys that can help. You need guys that have been there. You got to have that veteran leadership. Guys struggle. You see it in basketball too. Look at the teams that don't have those guys at the end of the bench help out. The Memphis Grizzlies, and there's other teams as well. So you got to have a couple older guys on the team. I mean, you don't have to have a bunch of them, just a couple.
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty interesting. And I didn't realize that Dan Miller, when he said that Marvin Jones is the oldest wide receiver to make an NFL roster this season. Think about that, to a position where there's been a lot of guys that, went into their mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
Very productive players in the NFL.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. It's a kid's game.
Hey, last NFL one for you. The Eagles and Howie Roseman. I think they've done it again. Remember when the Colts had their suspension earlier in the year? Isaiah Rodgers, who just got a contract, one of the better cornerbacks.
Yeah.
But he gambled. So he is out for the year. No one takes a chance on that, right? Howie Roseman does. They signed him, and they're going to just let him sit out the year. And this guy, man, he's something. Howie Roseman is something. It's a good chance to take and stock a player away like that.
I think I'd say about Howie Roseman, he understands everybody needs a second chance. And look, if this guy wants a second chance, he gave Calvin Ridley one. Why shouldn't other guys get second chances? Why should it only be guys that are stars? That guy can play football, Howie Roseman wants him. Howie Roseman record speaks for itself.
Guys, Woodward Sports is expanding its daily lineup beginning September 5th. Booner and Broder pair up for Woodward Nights from 8 to 10 p.m. 2 of Detroit's up-and-coming sports personalities, hottest takes, best entertainment. Join them Monday through Friday, 8 to 10. Booner and Broder, catch them on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Tom Mazaway, a couple people in the chat want you to address the Seahawks shirt.
Oh, well, guys, I wear many teams. I love the NFL. I love all sports. 95% of my clothing have a logo on it. It is just what it is. I've been doing this since I was a kid, and at 61 and a half years old, I guess I'm still a kid. I guess I break the rules. You're not supposed to wear jerseys, not supposed to do this, that. I break all the rules. And I'm going to break the rules again tonight. I'm going to go see, I don't know why I'm punishing myself, but I'm going to go see the Tigers and Yankees again. I went a couple nights ago. It was not a very good game. Got to see Aaron Judge hit a home run. So today I'll go see him again, and they're still 9.5 games out, but they're not doing very well right now. They've lost 4 in a row.
If they could only play the AL East anymore, I mean,
get out of there,
please. Oh my gosh, the Detroit Tigers against the AL East are
pretty bad.
5-22.
Jeez.
17 games under 500.
Do you believe that?
17 games under 500, and they're 14 games under 500
Correct.
overall.
So they're 3 over against the rest of the league.
Against the rest of baseball.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's pretty weird.
Wow, 25.
Casey Mize threw batting practice today, by the way.
That AL East is different, though. Like, that AL East is, in terms of wins and studies.
The AL Beast.
And there it is. There's a reason why it's that way.
Philadelphia is playing awesome baseball in the NL East, by the way.
How about
Watch
that?
out for Philly to come back and maybe win the World Series.
Watch out for Philly.
I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited again, man. I saw Bryce Harper. They were showing the footage from last year. Remember when he come up the first pitch?
Yeah.
I think it was the second pitch he hit. He took it out. Saw that, or maybe I think it was the first. No, it was the second.
And your Braves are one of the best teams in baseball.
No, they are the best team.
Yeah.
They are gonna win. We know it. My Braves are gonna win.
Did you see the
again.
2 idiots that ran out on the field the other night?
And tackled Acuna Jr.
They went right.
pictures.
That's
what took? Now here, let me ask
that's
this
pretty
question.
scary.
Okay, what's scary about it is what took security so long to tackle these guys? They let the one guy hold on to a corner for Lord knows how long until the other guy came up. Like,
now I gotta tell you,
that's why you need football
can sue.
security.
I gotta tell you though, I know you can sue,
but come on.
No, I agree. But if I'm Acuna, I'm not letting them hug me.
I'm not doing this. I'm running
around.
Somebody
or
about
whatever.
to catch a fade.
You know, I'm not letting that happen.
How about the worst security in the history of sports? The other night,
I saw that.
in the south side of Chicago, a woman snuck a gun into the White Sox game. And you know where she hit it? In her belly fold. And the gun went off and shot her.
She had it
by accident.
She had it in the fupa, like the.
Yeah. Yes.
Is she okay?
She's fine.
Okay, now I can laugh. What?
Yes. Read all about it. The south side of Chicago let somebody in with a gun.
And with that, we will see you tomorrow night. We'll see you, gang. Braylon's got a top 10 tomorrow.
Hey,
we'll be
somewhere.
It's college football night. Big night in college football.
Big night in college football. And I come back. You know what? Then tomorrow we'll make it a top 10. We'll make top 10 Thursdays about college football. Ladies and gentlemen, keep the gun out of the pouch of skin that is.
Hey, can we do my season predictions tomorrow, man?
I would love it.
We're going to do my season predictions. And then maybe every day moving forward, we'll do another one.
I got you.
All right?
Hey, look, it's 4 o'clock.
All right, bye-bye.
We got to let the people go, man. For JB, Maz, Ryan, Parker, myself, we are Ermanni and Edwards, Maz. We'll see you tomorrow.